Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another podcast. I am your host, Turd Ferguson 619, and because you've been very good this week, we're going to do 2 podcasts this week. That's right. Usually I do 1 podcast, but if you guys behave, I will give you a second podcast absolutely free. So let's get right into it. What happened this week in the news, the entertainment news that's got me podcasting a duo? All right, so first off, in the news, John Cena has been cast in the Tranformers Spin-off movie Bumblebee. This movie's set place to take place in the 80s, and people are asking, is John Cena going to do the voice of Bumblebee? Or is John Cena going to do like this Mark Wahlberg type character? Because supposedly the movie's going to take place in the 80s, and it's going to be about kids, I guess, that find Bumblebee in a junkyard, or Bumblebee hides in a junkyard, which is totally going to mess up the Transformers timeline, because there's never been any evidence or anything that's been made known that Transformers exist, unless that spin-off movie ends where it's a government conspiracy or a government cover-up to cover up the existence of Transformers, because they did have that in the earlier Transformers movie, that the government knows Transformers exist and they cover it up. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm really excited. I enjoy watching John Cena as an actor. I used to enjoy watching him wrestle, but I've been busy. I haven't kept up with the wrestlings, but he's a really good actor. He's very charismatic. I can see him either voicing the voice of Bumblebee before he gets his voice box damaged in a battle, and I can also see him playing a Mark Wahlberg type character, because if you guys have seen The Daddy's Home, the first movie starring Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell is a stepdad, and he's in competition with the biological father of the kids, which is Mark Wahlberg. Then near the end of the movie, spoilers, I guess, if you've seen the movie, you know what happens. If you haven't seen the movie, well, you've had a long time to see it. So if you haven't seen it by now, you obviously don't care. At the end of the movie, Mark Wahlberg falls in love for a divorced woman, and the divorced woman's child, her dad is John Cena. So Mark Wahlberg is competing with John Cena. So I could see that as a Mark Wahlberg, John Cena thing. And if you've seen other movies, especially trailers, there's been that funny comparison of Mark Wahlberg and John Cena. If you've seen the movie Trainwreck with Amy Schmier, you've seen that there's this one scene in the trailers where Amy Schmier and John Cena are at the movies, and this guy tells John Cena, he says something about Mark Wahlberg. He's like, oh, you look like Mark Wahlberg, or you're a Mark Wahlberg looking mother effer. And John Cena replies, what? I look like somebody that ate Mark Wahlberg. I'm not Mark Wahlberg. So that's a funny thing right there. And then moving on to the next topic, what's going on in the news? Well, if you're a fan of Arrested Development, good news, guys. According to Jason Bateman, he's been doing the press rounds, and he's saying that production on the next season, or the latest season of Arrested Development, is kicking off August 8th. So that means, I guess, next week they're going to start filming Arrested Development, and then for however long it takes to film, edit, post-production, you have it. So we are getting another season of Arrested Development. I love the first... I'm sorry. I guess it's 4 seasons of Arrested Development. But then when they brought it back on Netflix, I tried watching it, but it didn't feel like the Arrested Development that I was used to, or that I knew. This one was very weird. It had time jumps. It focused on different characters. It lacked that really clever writing that the first 4 seasons had. But I'm going to try and see if I could make some time watch last season or the previous season of Arrested Development, so I can be all cut up for the latest seasons. I love the show. Very clever, very smart, ahead of its time. Unfortunately, I guess it was on Fox. They didn't give it enough time to allow the show to grow. So that was very sad. But it's making a revival now on Netflix, but now the cast is too busy. Or from what I could tell from last season, the cast was really busy schedules, that it kind of made it difficult to shoot everyone together, that they had to shoot everyone separately and just make up this really weird story where everybody has like their own separate line. I don't know. I can't speak too much about it because I didn't see the last season. And then we got the Jungle Cruise movie, Disney's The Jungle Cruise, a movie based on the ride at Disneyland about a boat that travels around Africa looking at the exotic animals. That's going to star The Rock, has finally found its director. Jaume Colette Serra is going to direct The Rock in the Jungle Cruise movie. The Rock is going to produce that movie with his producing partner from his production company, from The Rock's production company, $7 Production. So with The Rock making Jumanji, and he's also making the Jungle Cruise movie, I guess he's doubling down on jungle movies. So good news for everyone. I guess maybe Jumanji Part 2 is going to be a really awesome movie. It's going to do really well, hopefully. I really like The Rock, very charismatic, good actor, so I hope Jumanji does really well. And he's going to go back into the jungle for the Jungle Cruise, which Disney usually, their products, if you see a Disney attached to anything, you're getting a good product, high quality. So we'll just have to wait and see. And I feel that the Jungle Cruise movie is going to do really well. And let me look up the director of the Jungle Cruise movie, see what other projects he's worked on right here. Jaume Colette Serra. He's known for director of Unknown, director of Nonstop. That was that movie with Liam Neeson where he's on an airplane. Director of The Orphan, suspense or horror movie with a really interesting twist. I haven't seen the movie, but I heard that the twist was very, very... It was a scary movie, and it had a really good twist. People didn't see it coming. And he directed The Shallows, which people gave a good praise about, a shark movie that takes place. It's like an isolated bottle movie, and this woman's isolated, and she's being taunted by a shark. So it seems like the movie's going to be in good hands, a very competent director who has worked on some clever projects. No spoilers here. I don't know. I'm not really sure about this, but from what I'm looking from his body of work, this director has worked with Liam Neeson. So can we expect to see Liam Neeson in the Disney Jungle movie or a cameo? Who knows? Let's find out. And then if you work in the entertainment industry, especially for HBO Studios or the HBO company, you might be under hot water because they got hacked. HBO is reporting, according to Variety, that they got hacked. A lot of information got leaked. They lost about 1 terabyte of information to hackers, as well as the script to next week's episode of Game of Thrones, episode 4, which I'm wondering, what's the big deal? Why would anyone bother to read the script to Game of Thrones for next week? I think the only persons that would do that are jerks that want to spoil it for other people. Pretty much like the book readers that read the books and it's like, I know what's going to happen. But what makes Game of Thrones special is not just the script, but taking that script and working with the cast, working with the directors, with the special effects crew, makeup, costumes, everybody, putting it together, and the final product is what matters and what counts and what makes Game of Thrones Game of Thrones. I mean, we can all have our different imaginations, expect the show to be done a certain way, but why would you torture yourself? Why would you tease yourself with reading the script when all you have to do is wait a couple days, a week? A week goes by really fast, especially in my case. Weeks just fly by. And then boom, you got the next episode of Game of Thrones, which it's going to be Season 7, Episode 4, and the episode is titled The Spoils of War. So pretty much poetic justice. Somebody hacks HBO. They have that script. They hack the script for next week's episode. Maybe it's been leaked. Maybe it's not. And anybody that reads it is going to be spoiled. And the episode's titled The Spoils of War. So it's poetic justice there. And what else we got in the news? I mean, I don't want to come off sounding as that guy, but everyone made a big deal about the It trailer. The It trailer's out. Very popular, very spooky, scary. Everyone's excited for it. I saw the It made-for-TV miniseries when I was a little kid. It scared me. It was well done. I did get in trouble at school because that miniseries came out on Sunday, stayed up really late watching it, was exhausted the next day at school, and then the next episode, the continuation, because it was long, was on a Monday, so I pretty much didn't get any homework done because I was watching that. Then I stayed up again for a second day, showed up to school, exhausted. I got in trouble there. But I don't want to see the trailers. I'm trying to see as little as I can. Once again, I'm that guy. And I don't want to get spoiled. I want to walk in being surprised. Usually, I hate scary movies. I don't like scary movies. But for this, I will make an exception. Just because I really did enjoy the miniseries. First opportunity I got, I bought it on DVD. And it's something I enjoy watching around Halloween time. It's just I guess because I don't watch it that often, I'm not bored with it yet, but I can't wait for the remake. I'm hearing good things based on people that have seen the trailer and enjoy watching it. And for all you Simpsons fans, I'm one of them. Good news for you guys. There is a sequel in the works for The Simpsons. According to an interview done on IndieWire, director of the first movie, David Silverman, said that the Simpsons sequel is in the early stages of production. So I'm really excited, looking forward to a sequel to the Simpsons movies. And anybody else that's a Simpsons fan, I'm sure you are excited too. But how far can we go with early stages of productions? Because the first Simpsons movie was in production, I think, for 20 years. It took about 20 years for the movie to get made. And I guess hopefully it'll take less time, but I guess Simpsons fans are going to follow that formula and say, oh, we'll get the Simpsons movie in another 20 years. But who knows? I think one of the reasons why the Simpsons movie took so long to develop, the first one, was because they were busy they had multiple projects going on. The Simpsons show became a hit. It was very popular, so all the writers, the actors, I'm sure were making all the rounds where they would have to do promotions. They'd have to go to conventions and appearances, as well as I know the creator of the show, and I'm sure some of the producers from the show and writers went on to work on Futurama. So pretty much the crew got split in half. Half worked on The Simpsons and the other half on Futurama. But I think I don't think they're working on any more projects. I don't think there's any other side projects going on, so they could focus more on The Simpsons. So I'm guessing we will get another Simpsons movie, a sequel in 10 years? Half the time? Who knows? But I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy The Simpsons movie. And then there's AMC Network, the house of Breaking Bad, the house of Mad Men, and The Walking Dead, is looking for new content. I know Breaking Bad and Mad Men have left. They finished their run, their series. And AMC has been looking for something to fill that show, whether it was the train show, Hell on Wheels, or the political spy show about the revolution turn. But they're looking for that one hit show again. And they're talking about a sci-fi show that it's going to be executive produced by Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson, Dwight from The Office, who tried to do a spin-off show based on his character Dwight that didn't take off. Dwight that works really well in an ensemble. Rainn Wilson works really well when he's part of an ensemble. and you have good writers, which were in the first seasons of The Office. Really good writers gave them good stuff to work with, good material. But in the later seasons, they didn't have those good writers anymore, so the material wasn't that good. Who knows how good this show's going to be? On the synopsis, it says it's a middle-aged man who is invaded by an alien. We'll just have to wait and see. And I'm hoping good things. Looking for something to keep me entertained and attached to the TV when Game of Thrones isn't on. And could this show be it? Tune in and let's see what's going to happen. And then what else in the news? No, I am not a Marvel. I'm not a DC fan. I like their movies. I find them entertaining. But this part of the podcast is going to be a lot of DC stuff. So if you're a DC fan, high five, virtual high five over the internets. And if you're not a DC fan, just bear with me because, hey, we're getting comic book movies based on superheroes. And I don't think we could have gotten where we are today without comic book movies, what they were before. So we got Wonder Woman. A sequel has been announced. Expect that to come out December 2019, which everyone's talking about how good this Wonder Woman movie is, the first one that we just got. Really good movie. And just when things were looking bad for DC, how they were having trouble with some of their productions, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, this one right the ship or fix the problem. Then there's this other article where it looks like Joss Whedon is going to be a major part of the DC universe. Joss Whedon is just this really brilliant writer, director, just this creative person. He's really good to work with. Look what he did to Disney and Marvel, what he did for them with the Avenger movies. Just made these really entertaining movies where he knows how to balance multiple characters. Everything he's ever done, the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer and how it went on for so long, and everyone talks about it and they explore the different layers of the show. Angel, the TV series, Firefly, which was canceled prematurely, the movie Serenity, which pretty much wrapped up the show Firefly for everybody that needed some more Firefly. Kudos to DC and Warner Brothers for being able to bring in Joss Whedon to the team. I'm not upset. I don't feel that Joss Whedon is a traitor. I'm glad and I'm happy for Joss Whedon that he's still working on comic book movies, and we're going to see if that Joss Whedon magic is going to be able to transfer over to DC, because I feel that, in my opinion, everybody has their well of creativity. There's only so much creativity that they have. Joss Whedon has done so many creative projects, and I'm wondering if there's still enough creativity in his well or if he's tapped out. And we're going to find out with these DC projects, which I hope go really well. I love comic book movies. They're really fun to watch, and my favorite ones are the ones where they're different from other ones. You know, no similarities. You're not seeing the same thing over and over again. So I wish Joss Whedon a lot of luck. I wish him a lot of luck, and I hope things go very well for him. And then there's this other article, and they're asking the question, is John Manganiello still attached to play Deathstroke in the Batman movie? Because when Ben Affleck was directing the Batman movie, he hired Joe Manganiello to play Deathstroke. But then we noticed that Warner Brothers, DC, and Ben Affleck weren't seeing eye to eye, and Ben Affleck had to bow out as far as directing duties. But on the plus side, we got Matt Reeves, who's been doing really great work with the 8 movies, Planet of the Apes, The Dawn of the Apes, Rise of the Apes, War of the Apes. He's been doing really good things with that, and I'm sure he's going to do really good work with this Batman movie at the helm. And it's gonna work out for everybody. One, Ben Affleck will be able to focus more on his character, Batman, and give us a really good performance. And then 2, we're getting a really good director that's going to take over the Batman movie, which is Matt Reeves. He's done really good things. And looking through my list of notes, that's it. I'm surprised I was able to cover so much in such a short amount of time. Edible information for everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to this podcast. And till next time, I will be back again with another podcast. I just don't know when. I love reviewing Game of Thrones, but if something comes up before then and it's just too big and I can't wait, I'll be back. So once again, everyone, thank you for listening to this podcast, and till next time.